Good afternoon. We start at 4 o'clock on this Tuesday, Election Day, with a live look at radar. Brace yourself for some weather whiplash. Not only are we getting soaked across central Indiana, as you can see there on radar, but take a look outside. We're also in for a big temperature drop for those of you heading outside later today.
So a lot happening in the weather department, a lot happening in our political areas too, but also a lot happening on the roads. We got to get to traffic news first.
Well, this is just a nasty situation. This is going to be for eastbound travelers going through Hancock County. I want to show you this accident. 3 semis, thankfully to report no injuries. Now this is I-70 eastbound. This accident about a mile east of Greenfield. Here's the problem, and here's what I believe is going on. So you can see these are the 3 semis. They have to, and this is in a construction zone. Obviously, these 2 lanes of 70 east have been split. They have to clear all of this traffic first so they can get some apparatus in here to get these semis back onto the road. All of the vehicles behind this accident in this lane of 70 eastbound are going to be stuck there. We don't know a time on this. I suspect it's going to take a while to clear this up, unfortunately. Okay, so you can see 70 eastbound has been closed now. It's the eastbound lanes there, right into Indiana 9. All right, so heads up on that. We get back closer to the metro area, showing you what's happening here. We got slow go at the south split, and obviously you can see we've got wet roads. We've got a little lull in the rain for temporary. We got additional rain that's going to be spilling in here. All of that rain being undercut now by a north wind due to the passage of a cold front. It's just about south of I-70 now. Temperatures in some locations are 25 degrees colder than 24 hours ago, and that will continue to spill southward. We'll have the rest of your forecast here coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, Sean, thanks so much. As always, you can stream our new live local radar 24/7. Then you can track the rain and what's going on specifically in your area. You can check the forecast whenever you want. Just download our free streaming app, WTHR Plus, on your TV.
Super helpful for days like today.
Yes.
All right, now to our other big story, the Indiana primary. It is Election Day, and right now polls are still open across Indiana for another 2 hours.
Yes, another 2 hours. And despite a history of being a low turnout state, Indiana has actually seen a surge in people voting this year. So we have live team coverage this Election Day, but we want to begin with Jenny Runovich. She is in Irvington. That's where polls will be open until 6. Jenny?
Yeah, Felicia and Dustin, I am at the Irvington Presbyterian Church on Washington Street. This is one of 182 vote centers across Marion County, and you said it, it's open till 6. So if you haven't voted yet and you live in Marion County, you have a little less than 2 hours to do so. All right, let's talk turnout, because that has been the big talker this election season. I'll tell you, the people here at this vote center tell me they've seen a steady stream all day. They were at around 600, around 330 today for ballots at this location. As for totals overall in Marion County, we just got some new numbers in. The Marion County Election Board telling me as of 3:30, there have been 55,421 in-person ballots cast today. So what does that mean? Give me some context. Well, that's actually about 4,000 more than 2024 at this time, the last primary election. Now, unclear if the rain this afternoon is having an impact on the number of people coming out to vote today overall, but really not an issue here, they tell me. Also, early voting, a big deal. We've been reporting huge surge. Numbers are way up, nearly double the previous primaries in Marion County. In fact, there have been nearly as many early voters this year as in each of the previous 2 primaries combined. Again, that's a big deal because Indiana's primary turnout is usually among the lowest in the country, especially in non-presidential election years like this one. But today, things have been going smoothly at the vote centers. In fact, the Marion County Election Board telling me there was really one issue earlier in the day. That was in Lawrence. One of the vote centers actually had to open an hour later, and that was because an inspector actually got in a car crash headed to the vote center. But that person's okay, and they were able to open on time, and really no other issues. Things have been going smoothly, and a lot of people coming out to cast their ballot, which of course everyone, regardless of political party, likes to see. Dustin and Felicia.
All right, Jenny Runovich reporting live in Irvington. Thank you so much. And one of the big races today is in Indiana's 5th Congressional District. That's where Democrats are lining up for a chance to challenge incumbent Congresswoman Victoria Spartz.
It's a crowded field for Democratic voters. Jenna Webster's covering this race for us tonight. So, Jenna, how are they feeling about it?
Well, the Hamilton County Democratic Party chair tells me, he told me just a few weeks ago that this is the most competitive primary they've ever had. That's kind of across the board, but that does include the 5th district, where there are 7 Democrats running here in the 5th district, hoping to unseat Victoria Spartz. That's up from the last 2 primary cycles, too, where there was only 2 Democrats on the primary ballot. And these Democratic candidates that are running have a pretty wide range, too, of candidates for voters to choose from. They've got political newcomers, some small business owners, a couple people with an Army background. One of the people that is running is J.D. Ford. He has represented State Senate District 29 since 2018. He actually flipped that seat. It was long held by Republicans. He is considered a fairly moderate candidate. Then you've got Jackson Franklin. He says he's inspired in part by Bernie Sanders, so a little bit more of a progressive candidate. Then there's Deborah Pickett, who won the 2024 nomination for the Democrats, faced off against Victoria Spartz before losing in the general election. Many of the candidates have talked about lowering costs, focusing on health care, immigration, and accountability in government. The winner of tonight's primary, like we've been talking about, likely will face incumbent Republican Victoria Spartz, though she does have one challenger tonight. She is seeking a 4th term in Congress, saying her campaign is focusing on things like cutting federal spending, balancing the budget, and border security. You heard Jenny talking about it in Marion County, but early voting here in Hamilton County is way up, actually triple from the 2022 midterm primary turnout, up from the 2024 primary. A lot of that is credited to just how many candidates are on the ballot across the board here in Hamilton County for people to choose from. Here in Westfield at Grand Park, they say they've had more than 750 voters come in today. They're actually estimating that'll get to 1,000 by the end of tonight, guys.
That's incredible. Emily Longnecker was asking voters yesterday what's driving them to the polls. A lot of them also said affordability, gas prices, grocery prices, those types of things. So a lot of factors all in this thing. Jenna, we'll check back with you a little later. Thank you very much. And across the state, there are also some very unusual primaries for state Senate. 7 senators who opposed President Trump's redistricting push are now facing serious primary challenges. Those 7 state senators are Linda Rogers. She's up in northern Indiana. You've got Dan Durnall in northwest Indiana, Spencer Deary in the Lafayette area, Jim Buck, Greg Good, and Travis Holdman. They all come from Republican districts across the state. According to Politico, Republicans have spent more than $14 million in their primary races. Experts say that is unheard of. Most of the money coming from outside groups, either trying to punish the lawmakers, the sitting lawmakers, for defeating redistricting or trying to defend them. One target is a man not even on the ballot. That man right there, Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray. He's not up for re-election this year, but the Indiana Capitol Chronicle says one goal of this whole retribution campaign is to get these challengers into the Senate and then vote Bray down and out of his leadership position in the Senate. Of course, we'll be watching these races closely in our election night streaming special. We'll have the results as they come in, plus a chance to hear from the candidates and our panel of experts. It all starts at 6:30 tonight. We'll have it on WTHR+. Other news now, Indiana high school athletes are now free to make money off of their name, image, and likeness.
NIL, it's a term you've heard before. But the school they play for cannot be associated with their endorsements. Rich Nye is here to explain why a select few athletes may be looking for an agent now.
High
Interesting,
schoolers.
for high school.
Looking for agents.
So the Indiana High School Athletic Association calls this not NIL, but personal branding activity is the term they use. And on Monday, the IHSAA Board of Directors approved a proposal that allows a student athlete to monetize their name and personal brand, as well as their social media accounts, but they cannot represent their school, wear a school uniform, or name the school they play for in those endorsements. The number of high school athletes that can profit from this is likely to be very limited. But local sports agent Buddy Baker told me today he already represents high school athletes in other states, and this is definitely a growing part of his business.
These are student athletes, right? They have even more considerations than a grown-up who's entering into the working world. They have academic pursuits. They have social pressures, right, that we all had when we were that age. So I think holistic representation helps them understand the business elements and maximize them consistent what's in the overall wealth but also health, right, and welfare of that young person.
Unlike what is happening now in college sports, the new IHSA guidelines prohibit schools from being involved in deals that funnel money to athletes to play for a particular school or to recruit them to their school. Baker says elite student athletes and their families need experienced agents because there's no union or collective bargaining agreement at this level, obviously, to protect their interest in all of this.
So give us an example of how all this could work for a student.
Okay, so someone could pay Rich Nye to endorse their product, to present a service, but I couldn't say that I work for WTHR or that I play for WTHR. I couldn't wear any WTHR garb, and I couldn't do anything here at the WTHR facilities.
Okay.
Does that help explain a little bit better?
Separate.
Completely separate
Just
from
you.
the school, and the
Okay.
school cannot be involved.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we're glad you're on our team.
Thank you.
MVP, Rich.
I'm willing to
WTHR.
accept endorsements.
You heard it.
WTHR's Rich Nye.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean.
That man is worth every penny and more, I'll tell you that. Hey, we're going to go from soggy to chilly, how low we're going, and when we could see some frost ahead in the forecast.
Another DORA district could come to the Indianapolis area, a designated open refreshment. We'll tell you the new spot where you might see it.
And a big announcement from Indy Pride. We're sitting down with the organization's new executive director and talking about the big names headlining this year's festival. Everything you can expect and look forward to when we come back.